see me through the phone. I am excited. It's just, well, I pulled at a loose thread in the blanket covering my legs and burrowed my feet between sofa cushions. I turned my head away from Susan. I could already hear how childish I'd sound before the words passed my lips. It's our first house. I wish I'd been there with you. I tried to keep my tone warm, not whiny. I'd like to walk through the rooms at least once before we buy it. Actually see the place we're going to be paying off for the next 30 years. I know, but can we go this weekend? I interrupted. I won't get out of the car. We can drive by. I want to check out the street, the neighborhood. Is there a playground nearby? You know what the doctor said. Full bed rest until 37 weeks. The next time you leave the apartment, it's to have the baby. I groaned, knowing he was right. Come on, Laurel. We're almost there. Easy for him to say. It had been 15 days, and already I was stir-crazy. How would I manage another 3 weeks? I blocked the thought before my anxiety spiked and my blood pressure soared. Trust me, you'll love this place, Rob continued. I promise. What about the mortgage? I had quit my job as a part-time pastry chef a few months earlier when I started cramping and spotting, and my doctor told me to stay off my feet as much as possible. We'd mainly used my bite-sized salary to justify dinners out, concerts, the small luxuries we couldn't give up, Netflix, Spotify, or gym membership. Still, I wondered how we could afford this property. We're pre-approved, Rob scoffed, all confidence. Unless you bought a Porsche and didn't tell me, we're good. I didn't even have to dip into Jasper's imaginary college fund. And the best part? I decided to drop the offer $20,000 and they still accepted it. When was the last time I'd heard my husband that happy? Why couldn't I let him have it? Doubts and questions looped through my mind, vultures circling, as I fiddled with the fringes on the throw blanket. They didn't insist on the asking price? In this market? That's crazy. I shifted. The baby hadn't moved since our call began. Or maybe she had and I hadn't noticed with all the excitement. I took a sip of orange juice from the glass Susan had placed on our scuffed-up coffee table and waited to feel the baby's fluttery movements. Nope, no other offers. Rob blew out a long exhale as if to say, lucky us. No other offers. Was something wrong with the house and my husband wasn't telling me? Why did my mind always go to the darkest place? I knew why, of course. My mother had been murdered days before Christmas when I was 12 years old. How much of my present unease was my past, refusing to let me believe good things could happen? And how much was that ugly side of human nature that made us desire something more once someone else wanted it too? It reminded me of the way Jasper was only interested in the swings at the playground after all of them were occupied. Maybe we never outgrew it. Does it have a weird smell? I hinted at my concerns. Mold? Be honest. Pregnancy made me keenly aware of the slightest foul scent. I'd potty-trained Jasper early so we could stop using that diaper pail that didn't trap odors, despite the promising reviews. Silence. Did we have a bad connection, or was he hesitating? Rob? The baby jabbed at my ribcage. I patted my stomach, relieved. It's perfect, Rob insisted. Even nicer in person. Lots of windows. The floors were just refinished, the streets wide, trees on both sides. He paused. There's a creek behind the house. We should probably put up a fence. You saw it for the first time an hour ago. We don't even own it yet, and already you're making improvements. I teased. Didn't I tell you it would all work out? Rob laughed as a horn blared in the background. I'm heading into the tunnel. I might lose you. We'll celebrate tonight when I get... It was nice to hear him sound like himself again. Since the pregnancy had turned high risk, he'd been on edge. Anxious.